Om Shri Sai Ram. This is Botany 3rd semester, Plant Taxonomy. Poaceae, formerly called as Graminae or grass family of monocotyledons, flowering plants belonging to the division of order Poales. These Poaceae are the world's single most important source of food. They rank among the top 5 families of flower plants in terms of number of species that are grown in all continents for as a food source. There is a general agreement that grasses cluster into 7 major groups. The subfamilies are more or less distinctive in their structural features, especially in the anatomy of the leaves and geographical distribution. The grass family is monocotyledonous and order Cyperales family Poaceae or grass family. It is the 4th largest family after Asteraceae and Orchidaceae and Fabaceae, and it is found worldwide in all type of climates and habitats. Family Poaceae consists of perennial or annual, hermaphroditic or monoecious or dioecious herbs or trees. The underground stems of these perennials can be rhizomes or stolon. The stem contains hollow internodes and jointed as in bamboos, and swollen nodes may contain silica bodies. The internodes are hollow and the nodes are solid, forming the culm. Roots are adventitious and often endomycorrhizal. The underground stems are rhizomes or stolons. The erect stems called culms are hollow and may be cespitous. The leaves are flat with parallel venation, characteristic of a monocot, and the base of the leaves have an open sheath that encircles the stem. A ligule is present at the juncture of the sheath and the leaf blade in most of these plants in this family. Vegetatively, grasses have several features. The stems are round in cross section, the internodes are hollow, nodes are solid, and the leaf has parallel venation. The florets are reduced and you have the basal sheath. The leaves are alternate, simple with the basal sheath which is overlapping and not fused or into a tube. There is a ligule which is often present. The leaf margins can be rolled, especially on drying. Stipules are generally absent. A leaf sheath is a part of the leaf that partially or fully clasps the stem at the base. A ligule is an outgrowth or a projection from the top of the sheath at this junction with the leaf blade. Sessile or petiolate leaf can have a sheathing leaf arrangement in which the flattened leaf base, which is the sheath, where it partially or wholly clasps the stem. This is one of the distinct features of this family. The stomatal complex of the Poaceae has the distinctive dumbbell-shaped guard cells with 2 subsidiary cells parallel to the guard cells. Cross-section of a monocot leaf is shown in the next slide. Each individual flower is subtended with two additional bracts, the lemma and the palea. Sometimes the lemma has a long awn at the tip. A flower plus lemma and palea is called a floret. The lodicules are small sac that inflate to spread apart the lemma and palea so that the anthers and stigma are exposed to the wind for pollination to take place. The specialized bracts on the grass spikelets are given different terms. So in the picture it is shown, so you can see glooms are two bracts that are occurring at the base, lemma are the outer and the lower bract, and palea is the inner and the upper one. As we already know, ligule is the projection from the top of the leaf sheath. The grasses, the inflorescence is called spikelets, which may be arranged in racemes or panicles. Each spikelet has two glooms enclosing one or more. So the spikelets are generally having glooms in them. The basic unit of an inflorescence is spikelet, which might contain one or more flowers. And at the base of the spikelet, you are going to have two bracts called glooms. And they may be arranged in panicles, racemes, or spikes and any other type. The flowers are small reduced florets and zygomorphic, bisexual and hypogynous, which is enclosed in the lemma and the palea. Awn is generally present, only absent in the POA. Perianth is generally absent, and the lodicules of grasses are reduced perianth parts that upon swelling open up the grass floret. The photo shows a spikelet of Peschuca, which has two glooms, stigma, anthers, and the lemma of several different florets. The androecium is usually 3 or more, and filaments are free, anthers are bithecous, they are base fixed, dehiscence is generally longitudinal, and pollen grains open from one opening, so it's called monoporate. The gynoecium is syncarpous with superior ovary, 2 or 3 carpels and 1 locule. Stigmas can be 3 or 2 and they are usually plumose, and the placentation is basal. So gynoecium is interpreted as a bicarpellary or a tricarpellary or monocarpellary depending on the number of carpels, and they are generally unilocular with one ovule and basal placentation. Stigmas are having the feathery extensions. Here in the photo you can see the plumose stigma, which is the feathery stigma having hairy branches, and these are very important for wind pollination. The basal placentation is often found in the Asteraceae and Poaceae. Nectaries are absent in this family. Fruit is a caryopsis, which is a grain, and seeds are endospermous, and plants are generally wind pollinated. Refer to the endosperm types that we learned for monocots in the first lesson during morphology, and that will give us more information on the type of fruit we are finding in the Poaceae family. So here you have the seed which is fused with the pericarp with the outer covering. You have an endosperm which is a starchy, and it's a grain or a caryopsis which is one-seeded dry indehiscent fruit in which the seed coat is adnate to the pericarp wall. It means the seed coat and pericarp wall are fused. They are wind pollinated or insect pollinated. The salient features of this family are they are herbs or shrubs with hollow internodes and jointed stems. You have the deciduous leaf with distinct sheath enclosing the stem. The bamboos have the hollow-pithed stem and it has an open sheathed deciduous leaves. These leaves are having a ligule at the inner junction with the blade. The inflorescence is generally a grass spikelet with 2 bracts called glumes. Flowers are reduced and they are enclosed in the lemma and the palea, and perianth is represented by the lodicules. The florets are generally consisting of a short lateral axis with 2 bracts, where the lower odd-veined one is called the lemma and the upper 2-veined one is called the palea. The flower with perianth is usually reduced to lodicules, and they may have 2 or 3 pendulous stamens and a single 2-3 carpellate, 2 to 3 carpellate and 1 ovule ovary. And important is to have they have 2 or 3 plumose stigmas. Ovary is superior and plumostigma is stigma feathery. Fruit is caryopsis. The flowers in the POACEAE, the sepals are modified into lodicules. You have pendulous stamens that shed anthers for wind pollination. The Syncarpus gynoecium has 2 carpels. Ovary is superior. Styles with feathery structures to catch pollen from wind. Unilocular and basal placentation. They have bisexual flowers, and the carpel, the calyx is shown as 2, corolla 0, androecium 3 and gynoecium